I never imagined I'd find proof she was cheating. Not because I was blind, but because I convinced myself it was all in my head. That illusion shattered one devastating day. It started when I saw a message on her phone that didn't just raise suspicion, it crushed everything I believed in about us, turning my world upside down. My name is Alex. I am 38, married for 8 years to Emma, the woman I thought I knew inside and out. Together, our marriage looked enviable to many. We seemed perfect. The cracks began showing. Small signs I brushed aside late nights. Secretive smiles. A guarded phone. I told myself it was nothing. Her phone turned into a fortress, passwords changed. Notifications silenced. Messages disappearing. I wanted to ignore it, but my gut screamed the truth was buried there. And one night, while fixing dinner, her phone buzzed. A message popped up from a stranger, intimate words, sent at 2 a.m. that shattered my fragile trust. The messages weren't flirty, they were too personal. Missing you tonight. At 2 a.m. Every word felt like a betrayal whispered in the dark. Didn't confront her right away. I started watching, waiting for proofs. Every glance at her phone made my heart sink. Every avoided eye contact deepened my fear. Her smiles grew forced, her eyes hiding secrets. I wanted to believe it was nothing, but the growing distance between us screamed otherwise. One night, I couldn't resist anymore. While she slept, I checked her phone and found messages that weren't just about someone else, they were about me. Messages revealed complaints, doubts, and hidden thoughts she never shared. This wasn't just about infidelity, it was a betrayal of our bond. Emma wasn't the villain I imagined. She was tangled in complex emotions, connected to a past I didn't understand. Not just a casual affair. The man behind those messages was from her past, a haunting presence that Emma hadn't fully left behind. A ghost trying to be reconciled with. When I confronted Emma, she didn't deny it. Instead, she broke down, revealing loneliness, the emotional distance growing between us. Emma confessed the messages were real, but insisted there was no physical affair, at least not yet. It was her way of grasping for something lost inside herself. I was torn. Was it betrayal if nothing physical happened? Was I guilty too, ignoring signs and deaf to her silent cries for help? We were trapped in silence. A week later, I met that man, not an enemy, but someone who knew Emma's pain and hopes better than I did, revealing truth she couldn't express. Hearing his words, I saw Emma differently, not as a cheat, but as a scared woman wrestling her demons. And I wasn't the hero in this story either. I buried my feelings beneath work and routine, thinking love alone would keep her close, ignoring the growing emotional gap between us. So what happened next? No grand reunions, just therapy sessions, honest talks, and the messy, painful process of trying to heal and rebuild what was broken. Sessions were raw and uncomfortable, forcing us to confront truths we'd hidden for years. Healing became a fragile, slow battle. There were no quick fixes or magical moments, just countless small steps towards understanding, forgiveness, and the chance to choose each other again. In all this chaos, I found something unexpected. Clarity, not about her or the past, but about us and what it really means to fight for love. Sometimes, love alone isn't enough. It needs constant effort, honest communication, and a willingness to face the hardest truths together. How many of us live with secrets, pretending to be fine, until one small message changes everything? That's a question everyone should ask themselves. When that truth hits, how far would you go to find answers, to save what matters or face what's broken? That's the real question I am left with. All the smiles, the laughter, the once invincible bond. Suddenly, it was all a fragile facade ready to crumble at the slightest touch. Behind closed doors, Emma wrestled with loneliness and regrets. I never saw the depth of her pain until the silence was shattered. Messages were silent cries for help, a search for meaning, a struggle with ghosts from a past she couldn't leave behind. While waiting for her answers, I ignored my own fears and feelings, burying them beneath a mask of strength and workaholism. Eating her past wasn't a confrontation, it was a revelation. Someone who understood her pain opened my eyes to what I had missed all along. That man reflected Emma's true struggles, of fears, hopes, and doubts, and made me realize how disconnected we'd become. Every conversation uncovered layers of emotion I hadn't seen. Emma was more than her mistakes. She was a woman fighting to heal. We'd been at war in silence, hiding pain, mistrust, and fear. Neither of us knew how to break the cycle until it almost destroyed us. The turning point was choosing to fight together, not for perfection, but for honesty, forgiveness, and the chance to start anew. Our conversations were raw and painful. No scripts, no lies, just the messy truth of rediscovering each other in ruins we decreated. Therapy helped us speak what was unspoken for years. It wasn't easy, but every session brought fragile hope to our broken connection. Together, we faced fear of loss, of betrayal, and most of all, fear of being alone. That fear became a bridge, not a wall. There were no shortcuts to healing, just small steps forward and setbacks too. But progress, no matter how messy, was progress nonetheless. Despite the pain, I held onto hope. Hope that our story wasn't over, that broken pieces could be put back together with care and time. Love alone isn't enough. It takes courage to admit fault, to forgive, and to keep fighting even when the outcome is uncertain. I learned that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the bravest thing there is. Unlocking doors we thought were forever closed, tore down the walls built from years of silence and regret. Brick by brick, exposing the raw feelings underneath. Listening became our new language, hearing without judgment, feeling without defense, connecting on a deeper level than before. Our love's journey wasn't a fairy tale. It was complicated, raw, messy, and somehow that made it real and worth fighting for. We couldn't move forward until we faced the past, the painful memories, the mistakes, the unspoken fears that haunted us both. Some truths were hard to accept about who we really were, what we wanted, the cracks we'd ignored for too long. Blame wasn't one-sided. Our pain was mutual, the silence a shared burden. Understanding this shifted the way we saw each other and ourselves. Healing wasn't comfortable or neat. It was messy and unpredictable, requiring patience from both of us more than anything else. Beneath every crack, there was hope that our love could survive, grow stronger, and find its way back through the darkness. Years of silence weighed heavily. It hid fears and feelings until one small crack allowed everything to flood out. Forcing change, choosing to be vulnerable was terrifying. But without it, our relationship would never heal or find new roots to grow. Trust doesn't return overnight. It's rebuilt with small acts, honest words, and a willingness to believe again. Step by step, breaking silence was the hardest part. But once we spoke, the path to healing revealed itself. Fragile but clear. Forgiveness wasn't forgetting, choosing to move forward without holding on to anger, freeing both of us to heal together. Honesty became our greatest ally. Even when the truth hurt, it built a foundation solid enough to support fragile new hopes. We began to rediscover intimacy, not just physical, emotional, and spiritual, the parts that truly bind two people. Our new beginning was fragile, a delicate dance of hope and fear. Every step forward reminded us how far we could fall. Setbacks came often, but facing them together, holding on through storms, made the emerging trust stronger and more real. Holding on to hope doesn't guarantee happiness, but letting it go guarantees defeat. We chose to hope, even when it hurt. Silent battles are the hardest to win. Ours was fought in hearts and minds, slowly shifting from pain to understanding. Sometimes understanding comes without words, through shared glances. A gentle touch, the quiet knowing we're not alone. Healing creates fragile beauty, a tender hope that grows slowly, but can transform even the deepest wounds into something new. Trust rebuilds slowly, brick by brick, with each honest conversation and each act of kindness that shows we're still here. It takes courage to keep going when the past haunts every moment and fear threatens to pull you back into silence. Our love was tested, stretched to its limits, revealing whether it was just a word or a force capable of enduring storms. Vulnerability gifted us strength. We opened ourselves fully, risking more pain, but also unlocking deeper connection than ever before. Heartbreak taught us lessons no happiness ever could, about patience, forgiveness, and what truly matters when love is tested. Despite the scars, the silences, and the chaos, We still fighting for each other, and for the love we refuse to let go. Some conversations are heart-wrenching, admitting fears, mistakes, and threats to what you once believed unbreakable. No more hiding our pain behind smiles or silence. We faced it head-on, knowing this was the only way back to each other. Healing started in small moments, a genuine smile, a moment of forgiveness, a hand held when words failed. With every step forward, we uncovered new hope fragile but fierce, lighting a path out of the darkness together. Forgiveness isn't loud or sudden, it's quiet and steady. A choice to release pain and embrace a future together. Learn to embrace imperfections, not just in each other, but in the fragile, beautiful story we were rewriting together. There were no perfect endings here, only messy new beginnings filled with hope, pain, and a willingness to try again. In the end, love is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It demands effort, honesty, and above all, the courage to keep moving forward. So I ask you now, what if you found the truth hidden in a message? How would you face it? Would you run, confront it, or look deeper? Silence can protect, but it can also destroy. Ignored signs grow louder until they can no longer be denied. We redefined by the choices we make, to face pain or avoid it, to forgive or hold grudges, to fight or give up. Truth rarely arrives wrapped in neat packages. It's messy, complicated, and often painful, but it's the only foundation for real connection. Facing our deepest fears is the doorway to peace. Avoiding them only builds walls that trap us in loneliness and doubt. Love demands the courage to be vulnerable, to admit fault, and to grow through pain, even when it's the hardest thing to do. There are no easy answers in stories like ours, only honest attempts to build something real from broken pieces. One small message changed everything, unraveling years of history and forcing us to face a future we never imagined. Would you confront the truth or retreat into denial? Stay and fight or walk away? These choices define us more than we realize. Staying silent carries its own risk, the slow erosion of trust. Love and connection that took years to build but can vanish in days. Truth tests not only relationships, but our own resilience, our ability to face pain, forgive, and start again stronger than before. In the end, the hardest question remains: do we hold on to love as broken pieces, or do we let go and find new paths to peace? This is the story of my marriage of secrets uncovered and truths embraced. A journey of loss, hope, and the fight to find real love again. Now I ask you, if you were in my shoes, faced with this truth, what would you do? Confront it, forgive, or walk away forever? Truth has power. It can destroy or heal. It forces us to choose who we want to be and what we're willing to fight for in love. Remember this story when love feels fragile and secrets tempt silence. The real fight is choosing honesty, courage, and hope together.